Hello, everyone. So, we're finally here for the last list of the year. This is my top 10 movies of 2021. So, of course, this is not a definitive list. I did not get the chance to see every single film that came out this year. So, of course, as I watch movies from this year that I haven't yet, this list may change. Like I said, it's not definitive. And it's not, like I said, the best movies. Like, I'm not trying to be Oscars here. It's just my personal favorite movies that I would give my highest recommendations to anyone this year in terms of the movies that came out in 2021. And so without further ado, let me get into my top 10 movies of the year. So number 10, it's Judas and the Black Messiah. This is Fred Hampton's story, and this movie has some of the best acting that you will see all year by Daniel and Lakeith Stanfield. They're just absolutely amazing performances, and I found that this was a great biopic, very well directed. It did do an amazing job telling the story of the civil rights movement and a very true depiction of what happens to the leaders, Black Lives Matter, Black Panthers movements, and just how it is viewed by the overall society from every single side, no matter your race, religion, all these things that come into a factor with it. So this was an absolutely great biopic, and again, just huge recommendation, and again, one of the best performances you're going to see all year. So as much as I like the second film as well, I did find that the beginning was the better of the two movies just because it had this amazing setup. Some of the greatest character drama that I've seen on a Netflix original film in a long, long time. It just had very great build up and world building and stakes and consequences and some of the fight scenes and just all the action sequences in both of these films, but especially I found at the beginning were just so well put together and just absolutely epic. Again, some of the best sword fighting I've seen on screen in just a long, long time. And for this to be a Netflix movie, again, just blew me away. But in terms of action films, easily one of the best of the year. And yeah, it's just absolutely awesome. Great drama, great action, great pacing. Very, very, very well made film. Ghostbusters Afterlife has to be one of the best franchise reboots that have ever come into play. It's just amazing pacing, great characters that they come in, amazing connections to the original films too, which was just absolutely awesome. You got the your little bit of fan service that's very, very well done in this film too, but I just found that everything, the new location and all these things really tied in to the original, and there was just so many callbacks, and the way that it's filmed and paced and everything is just exactly like what made the first Ghostbusters great. And I still feel like all those things translated really, really well to this contemporary Ghostbusters story. And again, I love the characters, I love the connections. Paul Rudd was awesome. The humor in this was great. I love the beefed up sounds that they used for the proton packs and the Ghostbusters car and everything. And it was just awesome. And it gets me really excited for a new generation of Ghostbusters films if they decide to make more of these. And if they make them like this one, they're all going to be awesome. So when word that Shang-Chi was going to be a Marvel film, I got super excited because I've always loved the character and I'm excited for him to come into the MCU in much larger ways because he's helped characters like Spider-Man and all these other people create like new styles of martial arts just for them and their abilities. And you can definitely tell that he's going to be that kind of mentor character as he's able to grow. And I just found that the action, the pacing, everything in this movie was great. It gave us one of the best Marvel villains being Wenwu, who was just very, very empathetic. Like just how empathetic you're able to be to the character. He was just absolutely great. And amazing, beautiful cinematography, the best action sequences that Marvel has ever put on the screen. They're really, really great in terms of just like choreography and the hand-to-hand combats. They're just absolutely amazing. And Simu Liu did unbelievable in terms of his performance and just kind of too one of those born to play roles, and I'm very, very excited to see where his story takes off here in the larger MCU. And yeah, I can't wait for more because this film was just absolutely solid and amazing, and I loved it. Thank goodness DC picked up James Gunn because man, this film was just an absolute riot and I loved it so, so much. Idris Elba's Bloodsport was a fantastic character. All these little side characters that they were able to put on the screen were absolutely fantastic. I truly, it's like for me to like Polka Dot Man and take him seriously as a character was pretty damn special, and the way that they pulled it off. Again, I don't think that they could have done any better. The fact that like we had Taskmaster this year, but I like Polka Dot Man better was very weird. But King Shark, all these amazing characters that they're able to bring on the screen and just give so much life to all of them. You knew all their motivations, even like if some of them only had a few minutes of screen time. you did truly understand these characters and the stakes. This was the Amanda Waller I've always wanted to see on screen. This is a Suicide Squad mission that I wish would have kind of been done in the first film, because this is kind of their level of missions, which was my gripe with the first film. But yeah, fantastic. If you have any sort of odd feelings of watching this movie, just please watch it. It is nothing like the first film. It is absolute perfection, and it's kind of the best the Suicide Squad I think can ever be on the screen. It was just chef's kiss awesome. So I was one of the people who always wanted the Snyder cuts as soon as Warner Brothers released the Justice League, and I knew that wasn't the movie that it was supposed to be when it came out in 2017, and the fact that we were all able to petition for this film to be released and for it to actually happen after about 4 years or 3.5 was absolutely just, oh, what a great feeling for just anyone who's a fan of movies, director's visions, things like that. It's because this was the true Justice League movie that fans deserved, that Zack Snyder deserved for making, the movie that he pushed for, and it just fixed every single issue that I had with the film. Great characters, amazing action sequences that I don't understand why they cut. Like, Flash's scene in this near the end is one of the greatest comic book movie moments ever, if not the best. It was just wild and amazing, and I have no idea why they cut any of this, because this movie was perfection for what the Justice League is. And yeah, highest recommendation. 4 hours long. It's a long time to get through, but geez, was it ever worth the wait, and is it ever worth the time watching it? Belfast is just an absolute love letter to filmmaking. Just what a great, fantastically shot film, amazing pacing, an amazing emotional story that shows the flaws and the strengths, and just all these, just really, they're put in a very tough situation in this movie, of course, too, but it just shows how everyone has to deal with the things that they don't want to in life and go about it. So not everyone's going to make the right decisions, but it's an amazing family driven story. And again, just one of my highest recommendations. It's one of the best films of the year, and I can just already like feel the Oscar buzz around this film, because geez, the best like child acting performance I think I've ever seen in a film. And yeah, just absolutely unbelievable, phenomenal film. So starting off the top 3, we have Dune. This was an absolute love letter to what the books were in terms of how much I know about them. I was never able to get through them all, but geez, it was just like, from what I remember, flipping through the pages was absolutely what showed up on screen here, and the performances were unbelievable. The cast was great. Everyone nailed their roles. Some of the best cinematography that I think has ever been shot in a film. The scale is so well done. It really goes to show why Denis is one of the best directors, if not the best in Hollywood right now. He's so talented, and all of that comes onto the screen, not from his directing, but in terms of the set producers, costume designers, the actors themselves. The soundtrack was just absolutely amazing once again by Hans Zimmer, and yeah, one of the best films of the year. I cannot wait for the follow-up movies. Hopefully we get all 3, but part 2 was confirmed, and I can't wait for that to come on the screen, because this was just one of the best setup films that has ever been put onto the big screen. The runner-up this year for me is Pig. This movie took me absolutely by surprise. It stars Nicolas Cage, and this has to be the best performance he has ever given, ever. It is just an absolutely heartbreakingly beautiful film, just about passion, about love, about, well, cooking too, and it just almost feels like a John Wick movie if he was a professional chef, in terms of just the connections that someone like that would have. I love kind of the secret society that this movie went into, and I didn't really know a whole lot about this film going into it, but I think that just really added to the experience for me, because just all the things that this movie did were amazing. Just, again, I was sobbing by the end of it. I was moved by it. It was just an absolutely powerful, amazingly filmed, beautiful, yet heartbreaking, devastating film. So now, before I get to my number 1, we have my 3 honorable mentions, and then I have 2 dishonorable mentions, which are the kind of worst movies that I watched this year. But for the honorable mentions, we have Encanto, we have Ron's Gone Wrong, and we have Tick Tick Boom. So Ron's Gone Wrong and Encanto are both animated films. You can find both of them on Disney Plus actually right now, streaming for free if you have the subscription, and both of them are just lovely, beautifully animated films. Encanto was just a great, amazing family story that's almost had me on the brink of tears. Like I said in my review for it, that you can watch. I was so close to doing it. There was just one thing missing from it. Ron's Gone Wrong is a beautiful story about friendship, and then Tick Tick Boom, amazing story about passion projects, about moving forward, about focusing on your goals, and one of the best Andrew Garfield performances ever. The fact that he learned to sing and do all the things that he did for this film is truly incredible. And yeah, I loved all three of these films. It just didn't quite make my list, but they're still high on my recommendations. And in terms of my dishonorable mentions, we have, again, just talked about an amazing Nicolas Cage performance. This one, not so great. Prisoners of the Ghostland, and then we also have Boogie. I just found that the acting in both of these films was so weird. Pacing was off. Everything was just... These were movies that every single minute longer that it went on, I just got angrier having to watch it and like think about having to review it. So these films just truly, to me, sucked. It's not even like comically bad. It was just so tough for me to get through these movies, and I do not recommend that you watch either one of them. And now at number one, I'm sorry this is going to be at the top of many people's list, but Spider-Man No Way Home was a movie that was just basically complete fan service, and I loved every single second of it. It's just brought in every single element of what I think makes Spider-Man one of the best characters of fiction in terms of how much he has to lose and how much he learns from it. It truly, like all three of these Tom Holland movies led up to this moment of him becoming Spider-Man. I had my problems with his Spider-Man. I think he's a great Peter Parker, great Spider-Man. I just didn't like the way Marvel was doing him, but the lessons that he learned in this film, the mentorship that he had, all these things that happened to him, just truly shaped the Spider-Man that I know and love and cherish and want to see on the big screen and shown in all its glory. And the setup that this movie is going to do for the MCU and even some of the Sonyverse is going to be truly incredible. And there's just so much they can draw off of, not in terms of the characters, but in terms of just the lore that is going to add to all these universes. It's absolutely amazing. Great, amazing action, hilarious, devastating, so much fun to watch, and just some of the best like crowd reactions that I've ever seen witnessing this in a movie theater. And man, I could just watch this movie over and over and over and over again, and I know I'm never gonna get tired of it, because man, it was just truly a once in a lifetime experience to see something like this come together. And again, everything that I just love about Spider-Man was in this film. Yeah, the best live action Spider-Man ever to hit the silver screen. So in the comments down below, please let me know what you thought about my list, what you would add to it, what some of your favorite films of the year were. If I missed anything, let me know about it. See if I haven't watched it, and maybe it would get added to my list. Like I said, this is not definitive, but yeah, I just love watching movies, and these were some of my favorites of the year. So yes, please drop those down in the comments down below. And if you like this list, you can, well, give it a thumbs up and check out everything else that I do on my channel through a playlist down below, and I'll link some up top here. Subscribe and turn the little ringer on if you want to know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out everything I do live stream and video game wise, there is a link to that in the description of this video and in my YouTube bio. And also both of those places, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord, where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, music, pretty much everything that is awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community, help make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys. Can't wait for all the movies coming out in 2022 and to do this list all over again next year.